What is up, everybody? So this is going to be the overview video for the December detox, and I'm going to kind of, if you're watching this post, you can go ahead and fast forward like 90 seconds. If you're watching this live, thanks for joining us tonight. But this is the what was it? 2015 was the first time we actually did the December detox. This is the 9th year. I was going to say 10th. But it's awesome. Like, we've done this now every single December since 2015 with LiveFit, with our clients, and then also for the community. And really, it just started as something like, just as like a goodwill thing, and then it's kind of continued on each year. What was really cool, and we'll see right now how this turns out, but in the first couple years before Facebook changed all their algorithms, it used to be like 100 people on here or more on the first night. And it was like kind of like a cool, like we'd spend a lot of time on here, do a lot of question and answer. And then over the years, Facebook has just changed to like, they want everything to be like promoted with ads. So we would just make a quick 5-10 minute video here, and then the questions would roll in and kind of live on over the course of the next couple days. So we'll see if people pop on. I see 3 of you on here now, Jess, Barbara, and who's that third person? It's not showing me here yet. But thanks for tuning in, guys. So what we're going to do today is go over the December detox. I'm going to do it right here live on my phone so you can see. Ew, let me get rid of those fingerprints first. But we're going to go over this live. I can't put the website in the actual post because same thing, Facebook will flag it, which they didn't used to do that either. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to livefitbootcamps.com. So livefitbootcamps with an S.com/December detox. So all one word. And that's going to take you to this actual plan here. So I'm going to follow through on this page with you guys. Still some fingerprints, we'll get those gone. And what this is, when we do the December detox, is using real foods that you like, real foods that you're eating every single day to possibly like stay the same weight or gain weight. And we're just going to give you a little bit of framework and structure of how to use that over the next couple of weeks to just drop a little bit of weight, maybe not gain a couple extra pounds. Some of you, that's going to be the big win. But we've had people lose 10 to 15 pounds on this during December because they just decided like enough was enough and they were going to go ahead and make that jump. So this is something that you can use as much or as little as you want. The cool thing is, like with anything with marketing, like we have to give it a time frame. So, it's a 14-day detox, but like if you do the next 3 days and that's the most you do, like you're still like, you're doing better than if you didn't do anything. Detox, cool fancy word, but also at the same time, what we're doing is we're actually just detoxing some of the bad crap that you're going to overload on the next couple weeks. And we're going to show you how to like kind of purge them away for a little bit. And that way, when you add them in for those, fun holidays or those parties, there's no guilt or regret. So I got Google pulled up here. You're going to go and you're going to type that website that I just told you. Again, it's going to be livefitbootcamps.com/ and it's going to be December. See if I can pull that up for you to show you. December-detox right there. So that's going to be the website you're going to put in. When you go to that page, there's actually going to be a cool overview video. And of course, I clicked wrong. It's the fun of Facebook Live. So when you get to this page right here, it's going to take you to kind of the initial stuff. There's going to be an overview video that kind of gives you like the guidelines, which we're going to cover more in depth now. It's going to kind of tell you why we do this whole thing. Cool. And then you go ahead and you click on the book. That's going to start your download. You just have to put like what email address or wherever you want that sent to. It's also going to give it to you like instantly as you do that. For me, I'm an Android guy, so it's going to be Google Drive. If you're iPhone, it's going to be whatever iPhone opens up applications. Once you do that, it's going to open up the actual book here, and you're going to see Rhonda's awesome transformation. That is not in 14 days. That is over the course of like 2 years. And so we're going to walk through a couple different things here. So this is what we're going to cover right now. Again, we're going to cover it briefly, but you can go and download this. You can pull this all up, and you can have this for your own records. And it's got some templates and stuff, which I'll show you in a second, but it's going to make it really easy for you to follow this over the next couple days. So what we talk about here is the ground rules. The ground rules, again, it's going to be something that, no matter what diet you do. So if you do like an Atkins or a low carb, you're obviously restricting carbs. If you count, macros, if you do Weight Watchers, you're creating a way of cutting calories. If you're doing pretty much no matter what plan you do, the reason why it works is because you're creating a deficit of calories. It's just how does it trick you into doing those different things? So with this, we're not going to count calories. We're just going to cut a couple, key things out. And by doing that, it's obviously going to create our deficit. So when I say this, anything on here on these 8 rules, if you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that, it doesn't mean don't do any of this. It just means out of the 8 rules, maybe you follow 7. The key thing to remember is just like school, just like your career, just like with anything, if you're only following like 2 of the 8 rules, it's still better than what you're doing today, but it's not going to be as good as following all 8 rules. So you pick and choose what you want to do throughout this. And again, your results are your results. So the cool thing is you can do this now before Christmas, maybe only cut back a few things, but then you can do this in between Christmas going all the way to like, for us, we're doing our New Year's challenge on January 15th, I believe it is. So you could run that through there and already start to get ahead, and maybe use like 7 out of the 8 ground rules then to get a little bit better results. So without that, we're going to go over this, and hopefully I didn't scare you off too quick. So here's your ground rules first. So I'm going to cover these just pretty quickly, but first thing we're going to do is you're going to pick a set series of days. So whether you do it the next 14 days or you do it the next 3 days, whatever you're going to do, we're going to cut out starches. And so for that, for the most part, just think pasta, potato, bread, rice. That's how I've always kind of listed it. That's how I always describe it. Pasta, potato, bread, rice. Just you're going to cut those out for a set number of days. Again, we call it a 14-day detox. You diet as many days as you want. The next one on there is going to be have 2 servings of fruit every single day. Now, the key thing with this is like don't over analyze yourself. Like 2 pieces of fruit, just pick it. Now that doesn't mean like 2 blackberries or 2 blueberries. Obviously it'd be like 2 servings if you're doing those, but it'd be like 2 apples or 2 bananas or whatever you want to do. But let's just start by putting in 2 servings of fruit a day. The best way to do this is put them in the times that you're going to be most active. And so what you want to think about is like, if you're going to cut back on starches, but then you're adding in fruit, that's going to be like your on-demand energy. So if you go out on your workouts in the afternoon, have one of those pieces of fruit before that afternoon workout. If you know that you hit that 2:30 dead time in the afternoon, boom, like 2 o'clock, throw that piece of fruit in. Hopefully that'll give you a little bit more energy from the extra carbohydrates and natural sugars there. Your third one, your primary focus on your plate. So for your main meals, which would be like say lunch and dinner, should try to be just get veggies. Okay, so of course, duh, it's like a diet. Wow, vegetables, like what a crazy theory. But there's a reason obviously for it. We're cutting out the starches, which are the things that keep you full, and they're also that keep the thing coming back for more. And we're trying to replace it with something more voluminous, but then like without the calories. So any type of leafy green salads, vegetables, cucumbers, anything that you do with that, it's awesome. Some people just really simple. They just slice up cucumbers, they put in soy sauce, and they put some like sliced salad almonds, and that's like a cool little snack for them. Whatever it is that you do, I'm cool with that. If you want to do celery with like any sort of like approved food that we'll show here in just a few minutes, cool, do that. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm not going to tell you which vegetables to do. That's up to you guys. If it's carrots, like don't overjudge. Like, ooh, we'll hear people like, I heard carrots have sugar. Trust me, nobody's coming to me and be like, oh, see this belly? Too many carrots. So like, if that's your thing, cool. Don't overjudge what you're doing right now. Like if you're going to cut out starches, don't judge yourself over having corn or carrots as like a bad carb or bad vegetable. Eat the carbs, or eat the corn, eat the carrots. The next one from here is going to be your secondary focus then is going to be on lean proteins. Okay, so wow, what a thought. Like we're going to cut out carbs, we're going to add more vegetables and add more protein. I'm a genius. Now, the whole thing, guys, is like if you're cutting all these things out, you got to keep yourself full. And if we're going to have any fighting chance at this, you can't spend the next 14 days hungry. So obviously, like getting in good protein sources, your meats, your cottage cheeses, your Greek yogurts, those things are always going to be great. Protein shakes, eggs. Any of that stuff is going to help. And again, don't judge your source. If it's a little bit fattier source and you're out someplace and all you can get is chicken wings, eat chicken wings. Like, it's still better than all the other stuff that you're going to cut out. So the biggest thing is remember, like any of these 8 ground rules you follow, or as many as you follow, you're just going to get better results from it. So the next is focus on your lean proteins. I see now we're at like triple the amount of people that started here. So guys, if you want to follow along with this, you're going to go to livefitbootcamps.com / and it's December-detox.com. I'm sorry, just December-detox. And I'll spell this out just so you guys can see this here real quick. And thank you guys for all joining. So again, I said this at the beginning. It used to be where there'd be so many people on here, and then Facebook just kind of changed the way they do things over the years. So sometimes the Facebook Live is awesome, sometimes the replay after is awesome. But that's the site you're going to go to, livefitbootcamps.com / December-detox. All right, it's going to bring you up. You get a free download. It's going to go everything that we're covering right now in the same order. It's everything right here. So your next focus after lean proteins is going to be fats. Now, fats get a bad rap because obviously, like we think fat equals fat, but more than anything, there's so much complexities to fat. If we're going to not get too far into this, but like every gram of carbohydrates and protein has 4 calories. A gram of fat has 9. So it's like more than double the amount of like the normal calorie of like per gram. But the cool thing about it is it keeps you full more than double the amount of time. So if you do things like backwards, oh, it's reverse. Thank you. Yeah. So if you read that website backwards, guys, yeah, it's December-detox. Thank you, Lyndon. But so your fats, even though they have a little bit more than double the amount of calories, they keep you full like triple to 4 times the amount of time. So when you're adding things like peanut butter in to your, vegetables and your protein and different things, like that's going to keep you full. Same thing. If you do steak along with going with like your vegetables, it's going to keep you full longer than fish or shrimp or a protein shake. So your whole thing is you want to make sure that you're getting all the nutrients you're going to need to keep you full. So we're cutting out the starchy carbs. We're going ahead and throwing more vegetables. We're going to focus on lean protein sources. Fat's going to be our next thing that we're going to try and get in. And then we're going to make sure we're getting 2 servings of fruit a day. Now, the last couple things here is kind of like cut and dry, simple things, but the one just says eat at home as often as possible. So that's like something, you might not always be able to avoid, but we know we're going to have parties. We're not going to have like, cookies maybe at the office. So we want to try and control as much of the controllables that we can. So that way when things are out of our control, it's no big deal. We don't have stress over it. So prepare at home as much as you can on there. The next 2, no fried foods. So what I implore you to do over the next 2 weeks is try and find ways to use an air fryer or use your broil setting on your oven. Find ways to make like actual healthy breadings. There are so many things. You can just ask Google, you can ask your Alexa, you can ask any of your different devices. Just ask like what would be a healthy breading alternative for fried chicken or for country fried steak or whatever something is that you might want to have and go out and go bread. Find a way to make it at home. Like this is going to be a good chance right now for the next couple days. Like you need to eat at home as much as possible. Like everything else outside of your 4 walls over the next couple weeks is just going to add extra calories to the hips, thighs, and all the other areas we don't want. So let's just leave it at that. Let's eat at home. Let's not eat fried foods. The very last one is eliminating caloric beverages. So this is a time of year. I know I'm the sissy boy with the the peppermint mocha coffees, but there's everything from signature cocktails to our different, fall coffees to our winter coffees to, so many things that we consume extra calories in. So your goal should try to be to not have any extra like liquid calories over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Doing just that one simple thing, like if you just cut out like that extra sugar in the coffee or you cut out that extra sugar in the cocktail or whatever your vice might be, that's going to really add up big time. And so the more you can start focusing on some of those things and like just eliminating that on the days that you can, then when you go to a party, like go enjoy yourself, or you want to have like some sort of like, sissy coffee like this guy, you can have it and not have, any guilt after that. So that's going to be the 8 ground rules. If you shut this off right now and you just go to the site and you go ahead and download everything, you'd be in a really good spot. So again, out of the 8 ground rules, if you follow 1, you're going to be better than you are today. If you follow all 8, I would expect to do as good as possible on that. So again, website is litfitbootcamps.com/December-detox, and you'll be good to go. I saw a bunch of people just drop off, but also at the same time, like I will keep running through the rest of this just so you get an idea of what's on here. The next is going to be a tips for success. If you get hungry, what to do. If you're sore from your workouts because you're not maybe getting as much food, what to do. The other big thing is like, you're only going to be able to cut back so many calories. So if you're walking and doing a little bit more exercise, that's awesome. But don't think you're going to like break records on working out, heavy lifts, those things. Like, when you're pushing hard on the diet side, it's not the time to push hard on the workout side. And that's where most people really, at least in my experience, go wrong all the time is they don't do anything and all of a sudden they want to start both at the same time and like put pedal to the metal. And really it should be like a clutch. So like when you're really pushing hard in your nutrition, your workout intensity backs off, but maybe you pick your steps up. That's a big way to kind of like offset that. But when you're like, you're going to have some cheat meals and some extra things, like so Christmas week or whatever, lift heavy, go for it. Like, try and push a little harder. If you want to go for a run a little further. Those are the times that you can push it, is when you're having a little bit more calories. But don't try and like expect like 2 weeks of like cutting out starches or 2 weeks of cutting out like your favorite crap and you're gonna like also have this heroic workout. So they don't go hand in hand. So make sure you read the tips for success on there. The next thing is there's 3 sample daily meals. I know the lighting obviously, guys, isn't perfect and it's flipped, but they're gonna have 3 examples of daily meals. If you don't like the breakfast, go to the breakfast section then, and you're gonna swap out any breakfast that you like. So what I've included with this is our top 10 lists that are in all our different meal plans. But this is our top 10 favorite breakfast. Pick any of those things. You even have stuff if you go to like Dunkin' or Starbucks or something like that. Go to the lunches and dinners. If there's anything you don't like in lunches and dinners, pick out of the top 10 list there. There's restaurant meals. So this is our top 10 restaurant meals if you're going out. So again, I know it's backwards, but Chipotle, Longhorn, Wendy's, kind of anything, that you can think of. If it's fast food, a diner, a sports bar, like there's an option on here. There's also our favorite snacks list. There's our favorite marinades and condiments list. So you have everything you need to be super successful with this. And And then most importantly, guys, you have the freaking internet and you have a cell phone, which nobody ever had before, the last 15 years. But like, if you can't figure something out and you have this tool in your hand, like, it's your fault. All right. So just try a little harder, ask Google better questions. If you have Siri, it's your fault for having an Apple product. So I'm sorry about that. Had to throw that last one in there. But guys, I hope you enjoy the December detox. If you have questions, this is going to be the place to go ahead and leave those. We're here. This is something I live, breathe. Like, all of our meal plans kind of feed off of the same thing. So you can ask any question. I'll kind of know where you're at, and as far as the manual. And that's kind of it. Make sure you use the program, guys. If you have any friends, please tag them in this. Let them know about it. This is, how LiveFit spreads our word, is by doing things like this. That's really it, guys. LiveFitBootcamps.com/December-detox, and that's going to get you the meal plan. That's it. Guys, have a great night. Happy Monday, and I guess happy rest of December if we don't do a Facebook Live again. But I'm sure I will, especially promoting transformation challenges, because this is how we make our living. Anyway, guys, thank you again. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the different things. I see Michelle Kane. I see, who's that? Barbara Knutson. I see, oh man, everybody's clicking on and off too quick here, guys. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. See ya.